I'm live, but you can't see me, can you? I really don't know why. I don't know why. I thought I would give it a chance and see if it worked, but for some unknown reason, there ain't no camera. So what can I do about that? Not a lot at this stage. So to look at a lovely blank screen, obviously I can't show you anything. I will endeavour to try and get it up and running, but if not, I'm going to do a little video for you instead, because I can use a different camera for that, but I can't use it just at the minute. I'm assuming that you can hear me though. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, mother? Can you hear me? No? Am I just talking to myself full stop? Oh yeah. You can hear me, but you can't see anything, can you? No. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, that's why you can see your desk. Can you? Can you see what's on the desk? Really? Oh, okay. Well, should we do it anyway then? How bizarre, because I can't see anything. But you can see all what's on here. Yeah? Thank you for answering me. And you can see my hands moving. Well, okay then. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen. If you can see me and hear me, I shall go with it. I can't see anything. So let's just hope. Is it sort of in focus? Can you see? Oh, I hope I'm not going to make you dizzy now. Can you still see everything? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, bizarre. Okay. Not only do I talk to myself, but I can't see anything either. It gets worse and worse. Anyway, so thank you. Thank you for joining me and thank you for helping me. Half of the screen. Bring items up a bit. Not a bit much space at the top. Oh God, it's like the golden shot, isn't it? Can you see it there? I can't see. Is that better? That's better. Bit more that way. Yeah. Oh, you are good. I think I'm Stella. I'm not Bernie. I'm Angela Ashdown, was it? Or something like that? Other way. Oh, God. Other way. That way. I can see your desk and hear you. That's it. Right, Shirley, I'm going with it. I'm going with it there then. Let's hope. I'll try and keep an eye out to see what you're saying as long as you can see it all. You are good. So I had a lovely week away. Really lucky with the weather. Can't believe the weather that we had. I think I need another holiday to recover from it, and I haven't stopped since we've got back. So hence why I didn't even try to see whether I could see anything on here, but you can. And so, yeah, okay, let's give it a go. So what I wanted to do today was to explore a little bit more of those gorgeous stamps that we had last time I was with you, which was the Andy Skinner ones. And I wanted to show you 3 different ways of working with these. Really, they are just super. We said it before, saying it again, but I just wanted to go with a black and white version and see what you think. I've seen some lovely ideas from people, some so clever, but really we're just with a wash of colour and things like that. But I wanted to go very, very basic and see what you think. So I still got some, I'm not sure if I got that one now, I'll show you that, but I still have got some. And so I thought we'd have a go with them and see what we're doing. So I have got VersaFine inks. So I'm using all of the same one. I am going to do the hug one. Yeah. And I have got, although they look all more or less the same, I've got VersaFine in black, VersaFine in Vintage Sepia, and VersaFine in Smoky Grey. They are all a pigment ink, but they have got a special ink pad on them so that they capture the fine detail. So that's why they are called VersaFine. How about that? So I thought that's what we would go with today, and simplistic to just frame them, because the detail and the art of what we're going to do is within the stamp and the inking rather than the dies today. So these are the Scallop Stitch 7 square frames. So they are designed to fit onto a 7-inch card blank. And as we know, a 7-inch card blank is not 7 inches, the envelope is, so that makes that probably about 6 3/4 inches, and so that is how that is designed. Actually, why don't I just stick it down? So I've cut out 2. I've cut out both of the white frames, the one that I'm doing here, the stitched one. I've cut that out from hammered white card, and then I'm putting that onto a chestnut brown of the scalloped. Oh, I haven't got it quite right. Oh, yes, I have. And do this one as well, a black. So simply a black there, because of the way that I want to do these different ways of doing it, really. So it's really a technique rather than anything new as such. So I'm just popping those onto there so we know that they're all ready to go for when we have done our actual image. And as I said, a 7-inch card blank, but it is just under the 7 inches. So then I've cut myself some white card. Now I've cut it from different types of card, and I just wanted to show you what the different type of things will do, how they will show. So first of all, I'm going to take this one. Now this one is smooth white card, and it is supposed to be the best card for actually stamping, and I think you'll agree when we do stamp it that it will give you a really beautiful image. So I'm going to bring in my stamping platform, and I've already taken out the rubber mat thing because we are going to be using these stamps which have already got the rubber on them. So they're not photopolymer, they are grey rubber, and so they come with the stamp there, but also with this bit of sort of foam there. Okay, so I'm going to first of all just pop her straight into the center of my card. Pop that down. I'm going to stamp it over with the black ink. Okay, so as I said, it is very fine detailed, and I do want to make sure that I get all the detail on there, so I might do that twice. We shall see. Hope you can still see everything. Do let me know, won't you, if you can't. Okay, so press all that down there. Oh, look at that. I love it. I love it. So all I've done is stamp it. I haven't done anything else. And let's just take our black and white one. I'm just going to show you all the different stages of this. So if I just took, just a second, my card blank, my stamped image on smooth card, which is for stamping, and then just popped my frame over the top, already, bring it down a little bit, already I think you could just go with just that, couldn't you? Yeah. So, however, let's do a little bit of different things with it. So let's just pop that to one side, and then let's bring in a piece of linen card. So this has, I've no idea whether you can see the texture, so I'm showing it to the camera, and I don't know whether you can or not. So showing you the texture there, but you've got like a very sort of hashed linen effect. Now, when we come to stamp, we're going to stamp with the same ink It's the same size piece of card. I've just gone for a piece of card. All of the card is 15 centimetres or 6 inches. So just so that we know that that's going to fit in. So this one is linen card. So it has a texture, has a finish to it. So I'm going to ink it up in the same VersaFine ink. I'm going to pop that over. Now the chances are that this is not going to come out in one because of the different texture. Okay, so you can see that sort of crossed hatch look. It's rather nice actually, but I do want it to be more solid than that. So I'm just going to go over it a second time, putting plenty of ink on, but it has different layers when you're doing it onto a texture piece of card. So if you want your stamped image, we've been talking about inks and everything for a couple of weeks, but the stamped image that you want is also reliant on what card that you're putting it on. So if you want a really crisp image, then proper smooth, as it's called, smooth white card is what you need. But this one is going to give you a textured image to it. So we're still getting all the detail, even more so because we're using the VersaFine, but we are not getting that solid look. But that's fine because we're going to be doing something a little bit different with it. So I'm just trying to find this. That's what I wanted. Sorry, might be wobbling you a bit now. So that gives me a much better push. Just a cheap whiteboard rubber, and it cost about £1. And then I just put a bit of cover on it. So we've got our lovely little girl, and let's just look at the difference. Again, I hope that what I'm showing you that you can see, that we have got the solid, more solid one, but I've built it up, and so it has sort of gone quite nicely as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do with that one though, I'm going to shut that up. I'm going to grab a scrap bit of card, and then I'm going to take my smoky grey and I'm going to open it up like that, and I'm just going to swipe down this image. So the reason why I'm going to swipe down the image with this is to just pick up all of the texture that is on that stamped image, and I'm using the smoky grey one so that it is very slightly light in comparison to my dark grey here. I need to keep my stamping pad as parallel as I can. I don't want to do it at an angle, because if I do it at an angle I'm going to get a lot of lines. So I'm just going to go like that over the top of it, just lightly. Went a bit too much at the beginning, so just lightly, and you can just see that stamped image that's coming out of there again. Okay, so we've got that look. Now let me bring in my, don't take that, bring in my card again. So there's my blank card. I'm going to pop that in the center and then pop that over the top, and again we've got a completely different look again. So let me just show you that again. So we've got our plain one with nothing on it at all. We've then gone to textured, and we've used our ink to pick up the background slightly. Okay, right. So now we're going to get a piece of textured again. So the same white cards. Bring in my stamping platform again. And we're going to stamp again in the VersaFine black. Obviously I'm building up quite a surface, as you see, because I was using the same colour all the time. I didn't clean it, didn't worry about cleaning it. Sorry if that dragged the camera. So you can see that's one layer. We want it to be darker than that. And it's not the stamp, it's the card that is making that not come out properly. I just wanted to reiterate that what I'm showing you today is the different type of card and therefore the effect that you can get. I think I'll go once more with that. Sorry if it's wobbling. Okay, so there's our All You Need Is a Hug. It's coming up really nicely. Now I want to sort of waft that about a bit because I want to dry it a bit quicker. If I possibly could. Because it's a pigment ink, it will sort of sit on the top. It's not too bad. Just dry that. So then I'm going to bring in my scoreboard. So I've got a scoreboard here. No idea if you can see that, so bear with me. I'm going to turn it over, so I'm going to work on the back, which is why I wanted that to be very slightly drier if I could. So I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to use the small end of the ball tool, and I'm going to score it every 3/4 of an inch. I happen to have the inch scoreboard here. And I'm going to go over each one of those score lines twice. So it is 3/4, 1.5, 2.25, 3, 3.25, 4.5, 3 3/4, I should have said, 4.5, and 5.25. And I know that that's not quite even, but that'll be fine. So again, I'm sorry, but I know I have no idea whether you can actually see whether there's lines on there. So I will try just moving it around, but you can see that there are, hopefully you can see that there are some score lines on there. Okay. So then I'm going to bring in my scrap piece of card again. And this time I'm going to use my vintage sepia. So this is sepia colour, but the same type of thing, a pigment ink for fine details, as it says. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to swipe down over my image, but this time, don't forget, we've now got some lines here, which hopefully will give us sort of the effect of wood. So obviously you can get embossing folders that might do such a thing. And I'm sure many of you have got such a thing that would be fine to do. But if you haven't, we can improvise. So we've now got our little Need a Hug, and she has now got vintage sepia on her, so that it gives it a slightly different look. And if you wanted, if you haven't moved your image and everything, could be not a good move here, but we could do. We can put it, because I always, when I'm using my stamping platform, I always put my images right up, my card, I mean, right up in the top left-hand corner. And so therefore, if I haven't moved my stamp, which I haven't, should be able to, she says, go back and do it one more time. So just so that I have got the chance of having my image even darker, I'm just going to ink it up. And because it's a stamping platform, we can go straight over the side. Once more, pressing down evenly, and then she is a little bit darker as well. Okay. So then because she is in black. I know she's in black, but I think we'll now have a try of popping that down. So there's my 7-inch card blank, my stamped image with my embossed lines to give a sort of plank wooden effect. And then I've gone on with my frame set. And this time I'm using the one which is the chocolate brown and the white as well, because of using the sepia. And again, I'll show you the two different ones to see which you think might work better, but I think that that one looks really nice. I hope you can see the difference in the colors. You possibly can't do really, but maybe you can. So that one, I think that pulls the image out. Can you see what I mean there? The black here pulls this image out more, perhaps, and maybe that softens it a bit more, if you see what I mean, because you've got this softer color which is going in more so with that. Now, one more. So let me bring in our little image here again. So of course we can color her. All right, so going to use just some very soft colors. So I'm going to use the antique linen. So it's a very soft color. Just going to, whoops, pick up a bit of that. And then just grab but I can't see it for looking. There we are. Grab a little bit of colour and then just pop just a little bit onto the face of the teddy. Now I have used pigment ink, so of course it isn't ideal. I think I want a bit darker than that, in all honesty. Sorry, excuse my arms. Let's go for tie-dye instead. Tea-dye, not tie-dye, tea-dye. You can't put a great deal of water on here. That's better. But just enough to just put a little bit of colour in. I'm not going to go mad with it because we don't want to spoil it. But just a little bit on the Ted, which would obviously be all a brown. And then I'm going to bring in a bit on her colour of her hair. So I'm not really doing much more to it. I'm just adding a bit of colour. But you can see how simple it is to add colour and not go over the top, to be honest. I'm not going to go, I don't know about you, but I can't quite make out where her dress, I think she's got like a dress on there, but I'm not sure about that. So I think I would just leave it. I wouldn't go any further. You may wish to, but I think if you do go too much further, you would maybe not like it quite so much. So I'm just going to wipe that off. But if that's all you need to do with the colouring, I wouldn't suggest, for me, that the colouring of these type of images is so good with the alcohol markers, unless you are really, really very clever with that type of thing. I think that the watercolouring is much more forgiving. Makes it look like he's got a brown eye now, doesn't it? A one-eyed soldier. Hold on, can't have that. Can't have that. I have got a silicone mat here, so just notice that he needs that on his eye as well. That's better. That's better. So I've just picked out those two colours. Doesn't need to have any more. And again, then we bring in our card blank. So even though all we had was our stamped image, because it's predominantly black, I'm still going to go with my black image there, which I think looks rather lovely. Now, one more I want to try just to show you how different, yet again, one more thing does, is popping our image onto craft card. So I'm sure you've heard of craft card before. Craft card is a brownie coloured card. So it's like craft brown wrapping paper type of thing. So craft card, it varies in colours depending on whose make it is. So I just need to chop that. Forgot to chop that. I'm going to do the same thing, but this time I'm going to do it all in sepia. So I'm going to cut my piece of card to 15 by 15. And I'm going to stamp in sepia, and I'm going to rough it up a little bit with the sepia as well. So let me bring in my image, which clearly is in need of cleaning. So let me just do that. As I'm changing colour, I do need to obviously take off all the black that I've got on there and pop it back. So I'm going to use the vintage sepia, this one. Yeah, let's go for it. I was just thinking maybe I wasn't going to use it, but I will. Vintage sepia. It is on a fairly soft piece of, not soft, fairly smooth piece. Again, craft card varies. One side is often rougher than the other, so you can change on that one as well. I think, you know, even that just looks lovely, doesn't it? Let's bring in my, just to do that, even just looks lovely. But I did want to swipe that down, so I'm going to pop it onto my scoreboard. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to score it again at 3/4 inch, 1.5 inches, 2.25 inches, 3 inches, 3 3/4, 4.5, and 5.25. So every 3/4 inch. Obviously you could do it as many or as few as you wish. All makes, you know, makes for the individual, whatever you prefer to do. Now bear in mind, I've now got to be very careful because I've got a smooth-ish image, piece of card rather, and so the image is going to be too much of a blob if I have to go very, very carefully just to pick up this here. So I'm just going to very lightly, I'm almost just tickling this, but can you see how it's picking up the lines, the embossed lines that I've done? But just because the craft card has a sort of texture to it, it's picking up a little bit of that as along the way. Just going over very gently where I want to. Just on those edges. To be fair though, those edges aren't going to show, are they? But you can see what I mean there. So let me bring this one in. Take that out the way. So my white card, although to be fair, I think I would pop that. Just seeing if I can see I've got any. Can't see it at this moment in time. I think I'll pop this actually on a craft card. But there's your image. So all we did was stamp it with the same colour, vintage sepia. Then we put it on craft card, and then we put the lines in the same as we did before, and then we swipe the card vintage sepia again. And then I'm going to pop on my chocolate brown image there. And again, I think you find, I don't know which one I like best now, do you? Up, up, up. What's up, up, up? Oh, can't see now. Can't see the bottom. Can you see it now? Now I pushed it up. Is that better? Push your girl up a couple of inches. I have to wait. There's always a bit of a difference in timing. And perhaps if I bring it up a bit more. Oh, sorry. That's it. That's it. You can see it now. What a silly thing to happen. Hey? Okay, so let's just recap and show you all of these different ways of us putting it together. So we've got this torn stitched 7 squares, and I've got this one in chocolate brown and white. And then in the center there, I've got on this one is on craft card. So that's that brown sort of, when you look at it, it's almost like recycled paper, if you know what I mean, but a browny sort of color. And then I've stamped this one with vintage sepia, VersaFine vintage sepia. And I've also then put the lines in and then swiped that down. So that is that one on vintage sepia with craft card. Then we've got the other brown image, which was this one. So this is on white linen card. It's been stamped with the black VersaFine and then swiped down with the vintage sepia so that it picks up the delicate little texture of the card, but also it picks up the lines because we pop them in as well. And then I went over it again, so to make that darker image a little bit. That's it with the scalloped stitch square in chocolate brown or in black. And I think they can look quite different. I know that the camera is a nightmare for me, but it is quite different. And let's bring in this one, which was the smoky grey. No lines put in this time. The only lines came along by moving the ink pad down. So this was smoky grey in the background on linen white with my black image. And I think that one really has to be the scalloped black version. I have to say, I think the frames really do make it, but that's being biased. And then finally, where we started from, but with a little bit of a difference, we've got the lovely smooth white card. So you've got the crispest image of them all, showing all the fine details because you're on that special stamping card. And then I've just taken a little bit of distress ink in tea dye and just pop that onto her hair and onto the teddy just to sort of bring it out a bit more, and then popping that one on with the black surround as well. Could be completely flat, but obviously you could also put your foam behind your frames to give it a bit more of a depth there. So thank you for bearing with me. I can't decide which one I like. Yeah, Sarah's saying the craft card. Do you know, I think I'm quite with you there. I think I like that as well. It sort of all blends in one there, doesn't it? Let's put them together. So I'm going to choose that one. Although I would put it on a craft card background. So craft card there. Can you see that one? Yeah. And then I haven't got my other card. Black. Oh, can't reach the card blanks. We'll pop it there so that you can see. But yeah, I think either or, they all look different. And I think when you actually put the frames on them, they look different again. So just a little bit for you today to show you what different papers can make with one ink, but just make a different look altogether. Stamps, what's left of them are over on the website still. And as I say, restock of the gorgeous scalloped stitched 7s, a couple of other dies back in stock as well. So I hope that you can pop over and have a look at that for you. I will be back on Sunday, usual time, 6 o'clock on Sunday, and I'll be showcasing the new floral panel dies from Sue Wilson. I'm going to use Velvet Dust, a new concept from Cosmic Shimmer. So lovely, different ideas. So I do hope that you can join me at 6 o'clock on Sunday. I also hope that I can sort out the camera so that I can actually see it by then, because that would be even better for me. But I am so pleased that you could see it. So that's good. So thank you so much for joining me today. Really, really lovely to see you all, except I didn't. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Thank you very much. And I will see you on Sunday at 6 o'clock. And I'll also see some people down very local to me. So looking forward to see those girls as well. Okay, take care, everyone. Thank you very much. Bye.